What if you possessed the ultimate power to look directly into the future? How far would you go to change a tragic destiny? In today's epic recap, we follow the story of a young woman born with the extraordinary ability to foresee impending danger. Her relatively peaceful life is turned completely upside down when she crosses paths with three teenage girls destined for a brutal demise. Hunted by a relentless, superpowered killer, she must learn to rewrite fate and defy death itself to save them. Witness a thrilling journey of survival, sacrifice, and the birth of a legend. Our story actually begins years earlier in the dense, untamed wilderness of the Amazon. A pregnant researcher named Constance and her guide, Ezekiel are on a perilous expedition, diligently capturing photographs of intricate spiderwebs for scientific documentation. They are desperately searching for a very specific, uncommon breed of spider. Ezekiel mentions local legends of the Aranyas, mythical spider people said to possess incredible abilities, punishing evil men with their venom. Constance, however, prefers a scientific approach over myth. She firmly believes the venom from these tiny, elusive spiders holds the key to curing hundreds of deadly diseases. As she speaks, a sharp abdominal pain strikes her. Despite her pregnancy taking a heavy toll, she refuses to rest, convinced she is incredibly close to her ultimate goal. Ezekiel urges her to take a break, offering her an umbrella, but Constance insists time is running out. Shortly after Ezekiel heads back to their camp to gather more information, Constance triumphantly arrives holding a glass jar. Inside are the legendary spiders she has been searching for. But the victory is short-lived. Without warning, Ezekiel coldly guns down their entire security detail. A horrified and deeply confused Constance asks him why he just murdered their friends. Ezekiel reveals his true, sinister colors. He has spent years obsessing over these spiders and their power. Constance pleads with him, explaining the venom could save countless lives. But Ezekiel doesn't care about saving the world. Bitter and resentful, he claims nobody ever helped him or his family when they were suffering. He demands the jar. When Constance hesitates, Ezekiel ruthlessly shoots her in the chest, grabs the spiders, and flees into the jungle. As Constance bleeds out, a mysterious indigenous tribe, the legendary Aranyas, suddenly emerges from the shadows. They quickly carry her deep into their sacred caves. To save her, they allow one of the magical spiders to bite her. The venom heals her just enough to give birth to her baby girl, but tragically, the strain is too much, and Constance passes away. The tribe's leader, Santiago, gently holds the newborn, softly promising the dying mother that her child will face great challenges, but will grow up strong and resilient. Fast forward a few decades, and that orphan child, Cassie is all grown up. She now works as an emergency paramedic in New York City, alongside her trusted partner and friend, Ben Parker. Their daily routine involves saving lives, and today is no different. While rushing an injured woman to the hospital, Cassie has a brief, seemingly random encounter with a skateboarding teenager named Maddie Franklin. At the hospital, the doctor assures Cassie and Ben that their patient will survive. The patient's young son approaches them, handing over a handmade thank you card. Cassie, awkward with emotions, tries to pass it to Ben, but he deflects. Coincidentally, in that very same hospital, another teenager named Julia Cornwall, the stepdaughter of the woman they just saved, arrives to check on her family. Later, while grabbing lunch, Cassie is still holding on to the kid's thank you card. She and Ben bond over their mutual dislike for complicated family drama. However, Ben admits he's actually considering settling down, maybe adopting a dog, and reveals he's been seeing a lucky lady quite seriously. They crack open some fortune cookies. Ben's reads, "You have winning personalities," while Cassie's grimly states, "You have no future." They laugh it off as a broken printer. When Cassie heads home, she spots a third teenager, Anya, chatting with a guy outside her apartment. Inside, Cassie feeds her cat, tucks the thank you card away in a drawer full of family keepsakes, and contemplates opening one of her late mother's old research journals, longing to understand her past. The next day, Cassie and Ben respond to a terrifying accident on a bridge. A man's car is teetering on the edge. They manage to pull him out, but the vehicle shifts, and Cassie falls in, plummeting into the dark waters below. As she drowns, a strange phenomenon occurs. She sees glowing, interconnected webs and a mysterious letter S, surrounded by echoing voices. Suddenly, she gasps for air. Ben has pulled her from the water and successfully revived her, but something has profoundly changed. As Ben checks her vitals, Cassie experiences a jarring flashback, a vision where she hears exactly what Ben is about to say before he says it. Disoriented, she correctly predicts his actions, leaving them both utterly confused. Brushing it off, Cassie insists she just wants to go home and rest. Meanwhile, a wealthy and powerful Ezekiel attends an extravagant orchestral performance. He flirts with a woman, taking her back to his private room. But later that night, he is tormented by a recurring, terrifying nightmare. In his dream, three mysterious young women wearing spider-like suits violently attack him, kicking him through a shattered window to his death. He wakes up in a cold sweat. The woman beside him asks if he had a nightmare, and Ezekiel confesses he has seen this exact vision repeatedly. He believes it is a curse and swears he will hunt down and kill these women before they can end his life. He also casually mentions that a national security agency has been tracking him for years, plot twist, the woman he slept with is actually an undercover agent for that very agency. She immediately pulls a gun to arrest him, but Ezekiel's powers are too much. He effortlessly disarms her, extracts the tech and information he needs, and murders her. Back in Cassie's world, she attends a baby shower for Ben's sister-in-law, Mary. After catching up outside, Cassie heads in to join the women guessing the baby's name. Suddenly, she experiences a massive wave of intense déjà vu. The exact scenario repeats itself right before her eyes. Startled, she blurts out that they've already had this conversation, leaving the guests baffled. Shortly after, Ben calls to report a fire emergency. Cassie confesses she's been experiencing strange premonitions. At the fire scene, things take a tragic turn. Cassie suddenly foresees a horrific crash involving her paramedic colleague. Panicking, she begs him to let her drive, but he stubbornly refuses. Helpless, Cassie watches in horror as the events unfold exactly as she predicted. Another vehicle violently collides with theirs. Through tears, she attempts CPR, but her friend tragically dies in her arms. Elsewhere, Ezekiel pets a captive spider while ordering his tech-savvy subordinate Amaria to track down the 3 girls from his nightmare. Amaria pulls up facial recognition matches. Ezekiel explains that while these girls are just ordinary teenagers right now, they will eventually develop lethal powers. He promises Amaria a massive reward if she finds them. Meanwhile, traumatized Cassie gets a medical exam. The doctor assures her she is perfectly healthy, suggesting her visions are just trauma-induced hallucinations from witnessing her partner's death. He prescribes rest and movies. Cassie tries to relax at home, ignoring worried texts from Ben. But the visions don't stop. She anticipates a thrown object outside her door before it happens, confirming her powers are real. Amaria successfully uses surveillance cameras to locate Julia and Anya walking through the city. She feeds their locations to Ezekiel. Cassie, meanwhile, boards a subway train and is hit with her most terrifying premonition yet. She sees Ezekiel, dressed in a dark, spider-like suit, hunting down Anya, Julia, and Maddie, who all happen to be boarding the exact same train. Realizing she has to act, Cassie approaches the girls, frantically warning them that a killer is coming. She pulls the emergency brake just as Ezekiel boards the train. The girls are skeptical, and Maddie is furious about leaving her skateboard behind, but Cassie demands they follow her. She points to the ceiling, revealing Ezekiel crawling toward them like a giant spider. The girls panic and run. They sprint through the station, dodging Ezekiel, who easily shrugs off police gunfire and tosses officers aside like ragdolls. Cassie manages to get the girls into a stolen taxi and speeds away. In the car, the girls are terrified. Cassie introduces herself and learns that all 3 teenagers have absent parents who are either working or out of town. The situation worsens when they hear a radio broadcast labeling Cassie as a kidnapper who abducted 3 teens. Realizing the police don't know about Ezekiel, Cassie takes drastic measures. She throws Maddie's phone out the window to prevent tracking and drives them deep into a secluded forest. The girls soon recognize Cassie from their respective lives. Julia knows her as the paramedic, and Anya recognizes her from her apartment building. When they ask how Cassie knew to save them, she confesses she can see the future. Maddie mocks her, throwing an object at her to test her, which Cassie fails to dodge. Cassie explains she can't fully control it yet, but she undeniably saved their lives. Realizing Ezekiel uses his venomous hands to climb walls, Cassie leaves the girls in the woods with strict orders to stay put while she investigates. Cassie speeds to her apartment, removes her license plates, and digs into her mother's journal. She reads about the Aranyas, realizing Ezekiel has stolen their wall-crawling abilities, and confirms that the tribe could predict the future. Back in the woods, the impatient teens disobey Cassie. Maddie flashes some cash, and they hike to a nearby diner. Inside, a patron recognizes the girls from the news report and calls the authorities, which tips off Amaria and Ezekiel. Cassie returns to the woods, panics when she finds them missing, and tracks them to the diner. As a vision hits her, she feels phantom pain in her abdomen, realizing Ezekiel is ambushing them. The girls spot Ezekiel and run. Cassie floors the gas pedal, crashing her car straight through the diner's glass window, violently intercepting Ezekiel right before he reaches them. Ezekiel grabs Cassie's leg, but she kicks him off and speeds away. Furious, Cassie scolds the teens for being reckless, explaining they nearly died because they couldn't follow simple instructions. The girls fall into a guilty silence. That night, exhausted and realizing they have nowhere else to go, Cassie agrees to keep them safe. The next morning, Cassie dreams of a future where she confronts Ezekiel. He taunts her, claiming the girls will inevitably kill him. Cassie wakes up in a panic. She explains to the girls that Ezekiel's touch is highly venomous and teaches them CPR. Needing ultimate answers, Cassie leaves the girls with Ben and books a flight to Peru. In the Amazon, she magically encounters Santiago, the Aranya leader. He reveals the dark truth. Ezekiel betrayed Constance out of pure selfishness. Santiago guides Cassie to the underwater cave where she was born. Plunging into the mystical waters, Cassie views her mother's past. She learns Constance wasn't abandoning her. She was desperately trying to cure Cassie's rare genetic condition before birth. Realizing her mother sacrificed everything out of pure love, Cassie unlocks her true potential. Santiago explains that to defeat Ezekiel, she must master her mind, allowing her to be in multiple places at once to rewrite the future. Back in New York, a furious Ezekiel threatens Amaria's life to find his targets. Meanwhile, Ben, Cassie, now back from Peru, and the girls are hanging out when Ben's pregnant sister-in-law suddenly goes into labor. Rushing her to the hospital puts them right onto Amaria's radar. Ezekiel zeroes in on them. Cassie experiences a massive vision of the impending ambush. Acting fast, she steals an ambulance, using it to ram Ezekiel while Ben safely gets Mary to the maternity ward. Cassie and the girls flee to an abandoned fireworks warehouse. Using her newfound mastery, Cassie instructs Anya to use an automated defibrillator on the ambulance roof. When Ezekiel leaps onto it, he is massively electrocuted. But he keeps coming. They rig the warehouse with fireworks to blind Ezekiel. A rescue helicopter arrives, but Cassie foresees Ezekiel destroying it. Tapping into her ultimate power, Cassie's mind fragments, allowing her to be in multiple places at exactly the same time. She pulls Maddie, Anya, and Julia out of harm's way just as the building collapses. During the chaotic brawl, Ezekiel violently strikes Cassie in the stomach, but she doesn't falter. She leads him up a towering billboard. Using her foresight, she strategically breaks the supports. The massive metal sign collapses, crushing Ezekiel and ending his reign of terror. The impact sends Cassie plummeting into the freezing river below. Debris falls around her, resembling the S from her visions. Julia dives in, pulls Cassie to the surface, and flawlessly performs the CPR. Cassie taught them, reviving her. At the hospital, Mary successfully gives birth, and Julia checks on a recovering Cassie. Though the battle took a physical toll, leaving Cassie blind and requiring a wheelchair, her mind has never been clearer. Cassie smiles, telling the girls her vision has actually improved. When asked if she can see their future, Cassie smiles warmly. She sees Anya standing tall for justice, Maddie relentlessly fighting the good fight, and Julia realizing her immense power. Though their superhero destinies are still years away, Cassie's profound insights have bound them together forever. The future is safe in her mind, and the legend of Madame Web has officially begun.